On this edition of Lexington Now, Plastic-Free July, you belong here, and summer safety. I'm Neil Noah, and welcome to Lexington Now for the week of July 14th, 2025. Lexington is encouraging folks to do their part for the environment with Plastic-Free July. Here's how it works.
Chrissy Balding, Environmental Initiative Specialist for the Sustainability Section, City of Lexington.
My name is Holly Kaysen. I'm also with the Sustainability Section as a Sustainability Intern.
Sustainability, in a nutshell, is making sure that not only do we have enough resources to enjoy right now, but making sure that future generations do as well. Things like green space, water, food, clean air. It's very important. It's a conversation really that we can't put off. And we're just encouraging people to do what they can. Everyone can play a role. July is Plastic-Free July. Which is a global movement. It started in 2011 in Australia, and this is the first time Lexington is participating.
Very simply, so just making swaps for any of those single-use plastics that you may have getting at stores, so your cups at coffee shops, your plastic bags at grocery stores when you're out shopping. We have a couple examples we'll be happy to show you. So when you're out and about, you're buying either a book or a shirt. Instead of using one of the plastic bags they provide you, just bring your own reusable bag. It's quite simple. And also reduce your plastic use when you borrow a book from a friend.
Oh, thank you.
So welcome.
No packaging. You can bring your own container to get, this is great for iced coffee, which is perfect this time of year. So just bring your own container, and a lot of times you'll get a discount for doing that. We know that the term Plastic-Free July can be a little intimidating, but we're not asking you to go completely plastic-free. There's a lot of plastic in our daily lives, from pieces of our car that keep us safe. So just find either one thing to focus on or one area of your life. So some examples from the kitchen. This is what I take for my lunch. I bring my own silverware, so if I get takeout, I don't have to get the plastic utensils. Instead of using a Ziploc baggie, I just put my snack in this little mason jar. And when you're shopping at the grocery store or the farmer's market, you can put produce in a bag like this. So those are really easy things to change, but they do add up. So in Lexington, the only types of plastic that are recyclable are bottles, jugs, and jars. So if you think about a container, it should be narrower on the top than it is the bottom. Some common items are like what ketchup comes in, any condiments, what your shampoo might come in. But if you're describing it to someone else, if you would use the word bottle, jug, or jar, that is appropriate to recycle. We do ask that you make sure that it's completely empty and clean.
It goes beyond the environment, starting with your health as well. So plastics can impact your bodily systems in many negative ways. So thinking about how sensitive your body is and then applying that to the systems within an ecosystem and nature all around us, all of our critters, all of our waterways, having plastic pollute those things can be really detrimental and cause a lot of negative impacts. So reducing your own use and finding these swaps, it's really amazing and helpful towards working towards a more sustainable environment. So microplastics are very, very fine materials that break down from larger plastics. They're usually hardly even visible if they are at all. Essentially, their size allows them to infiltrate a lot of very small systems in our bodies. So think about your cells. Think about all the cells that make up an environment. Those things are really easy to infiltrate when the size of a particulate matter or plastic is that small.
They're not good for your health. So some studies have shown that we swallow the equivalent of like a credit card size of plastic every year, or ingest, I should say, through different mechanisms. So anything that you can do to reduce the amount of plastic in your life is good. I just want to mention that we hope that you take what you do during Plastic-Free July and carry that forward. Part of the intent behind this campaign is to help people find really easy swaps that are then become normalized for them.
Sometimes it's really helpful to focus on different locations. So you could go with your work events, you could start at home like your bathroom or your kitchen, or even at your favorite stores. Any place where you're using plastic, think about like the flower carrier that you use to catch the water. Those small things that you will eventually just throw away in landfill, those things can be swapped out for something more sustainable and reusable.
So if you would like to participate in Plastic Free July, post on Facebook or Instagram and tag Live Green Lex, or you can email us at sustainability@lexingtonky.gov and send us a picture, a video, or just a testimonial of what you're trying for the month. They can go to our webpage. It's lexingtonky.gov/sustainability, and they can sign up for our monthly email newsletter.
Kentucky's film and television industry continues to grow by leaps and bounds. Mayor Gorton joined Steve Zahn and others to recognize this and a new project celebrating Kentucky cuisine.
You Belong Here, an 8-part docuseries hosted and executive produced by Weta Michael, produced by Steve Zahn, and directed by Rick Gomez, was recently featured at both Tribeca X in New York City and the ATX TV Festival in Austin. You Belong Here tells Kentucky's story through food and relationships, an approach that reflects Weta's blend of culinary mastery and community spirit.
I'm Weta Michael.
And I'm Steve, and together
we're
Stida. Good joke. Landed.
Great. Okay,
I slayed. Can I start?
Yes, you start.
We picked up a camera and we started following Weta over a year ago. And it was amazing. And we met so many great people in this state, all over, very talented. And we went to farms and cities and small towns and hollers.
And main streets, little main streets,
Yep.
all across the state.
And through David Morrison's lens, Rick Gomez, my partner, the director, his brain, and Kobe Tolan's
Editing.
your story flourished. But what we realized, it's our story. It's Kentucky. It's flyover country, where amazing things are happening, right?
Yes.
And I can't say, there's a lot of things I can't say because I don't know. This is a marathon when you're involved with something like this. It's a marathon, and we're at mile 18.
Yeah, it took a year. It took more than a year to shoot because we wanted to show every season in Kentucky. That's one of the things we're blessed with here, and the incredible landscape that we have. It shines at every moment, and our cities shine throughout the year. And sometimes we get a little tired of the winter and the rain and the stuff we've been through this year weather-wise, but it was important to us to show the passage of time, and instead of staging a show in one place, each time you're in the same place, we wanted to show the scope of Kentucky. We still have a lot to show.
Yeah, we do.
We still have a lot to shoot.
There's
we
actually
still have-
9 episodes.
Yeah,
not 8.
there's 9 episodes.
We added one.
And I think one of the things, too, that we in Kentucky don't always think about ourselves is how special we really are and how special the people in Kentucky are, and that you can be your authentic self. I think I have to be the biggest anti-hero of all time if this ever gets aired, in terms of who I am and who the media world is. And my role and my goal is just to show that to other women and other people.
Whereas You Belong Here is a joyous celebration of Kentucky's rich culture and people, and whereas chef, host, and executive producer Weta Michael guides viewers through the power of food to bring people together, and whereas the docuseries is brought to life through the talents of producer Steve Zahn, right here, director Rick Gomez, and the Macaroni Art Productions team. And whereas viewers are taken on a heartfelt journey across Kentucky, experiencing food, memory, and belonging, and whereas You Belong Here was presented as an official selection at both Tribeca X and the ATX Television Festival. And whereas we congratulate the entire team and supporters of You Belong Here for sharing the culture, the joy, the stories of Kentucky, its people and food, with audiences around the world. Now, therefore, I, Linda Gorton, Mayor of Lexington, do hereby declare June 30th, 2025, You Belong Here Day in Lexington. Congratulations to all of you.
Thank you, Mayor.
I'm going to give it to the two of you.
Hot weather safety after this. Welcome back to Lexington Now. Hot weather has descended on central Kentucky. Here's how to stay safe during the dog days.
When it comes to being outside in the summer heat, it's important to take breaks, stay in the shade as much as possible, and really work on staying hydrated. So drinking lots of water or beverages that don't have caffeine or lots of sugar. Caffeine dehydrates you. As much tasty it is, and we get our sugar and we're all jived up, it is actually dehydrating. So if you're having a Dr. Pepper, balance it out with water. Your normal intake, maybe try to double that. But just imagine, whatever you're sweating out, you need to replenish. It's important to wear light, loose clothing in a lighter color to prevent yourself from overheating. So dark colors, heavy fabrics, trap the heat, will not help. But if you're outside, you have a loose shirt on, it's a light color, it will help the air move around you freely and breathe and help you enjoy the summer longer. When you're outside in the sun for long periods of time, you want to make sure you have sunscreen. They recommend you start SPF 30, SPF 45, but that all depends on your skin tone and how easily you burn and how long you'll be exposed. You want to keep in mind that the UV is highest between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. and so you want to make sure you're protected, especially during those hours. When you're taking your pet for a walk in the summer, you got to monitor the temperature of the asphalt. Put your back of your hand on the asphalt for about 5 to 7 seconds, and if it hurts you, it's going to hurt them. Their paw pads are extremely sensitive, so when they touch the asphalt, it will actually burn and peel off. I mean, it's just like you burning the bottom of your foot walking on asphalt in July. It's not fair. But they can also exhibit signs of heat stroke and heat exhaustion. And overheat, you can't see their skin and see that it's hot and red, but you can tell when they're overheating, excessive panting, they can't cool down. So it's important to keep them inside during those hot times, offer them lots of water, and make sure they have a chance to rest and recuperate. For heat-related illnesses, there are 3 types. There's heat cramps, heat exhaustion, and heat stroke. So heat cramps are characterized by heavy sweating during intense physical activity, and then obviously muscle cramps or spasms. So you're out playing soccer, it's 90 degrees, all of a sudden you go down, your leg's cramping. That would be heat cramp. You would stop the physical exercise and start rehydrating, give yourself time to rest. Move to a cool location or at least in the shade to allow your body to cool down. So heat exhaustion is a much more serious type of heat illness. In this case, you see heavy sweating, weakness, your skin gets cold and pale and clammy, which seems like the opposite of a heat illness, but it is a dangerous sign. Of course, you can see fainting and vomiting as well. When you see someone with signs of heat exhaustion, it's important to slowly start reintroducing liquids to them. You also want to try to cool the person down. You can use cool cloths, areas of heat release, so that could be like your armpits, the inside of your legs, your wrists. Signs of heat stroke include someone whose skin is hot, dry, and red, as well as a temperature of over 103 degrees, a fast pulse, headache, dizziness, nausea, confusion, and sometimes loss of consciousness. If you're someone with any of these signs outside, it's important to get them to medical attention right away. You want to loosen their clothing, try to cool them down, but be careful not to force too much water into them because they may throw it right back up and it's not going to do anybody any favors. You can still enjoy your summer, it's just a matter about being safe when you do it. So if you're outside between 10 and 2, points where it's the hottest of the day, take lots of breaks, go into the shade to cool down, and monitor your activity. You see yourself start to overheat, that's time to take a break. By no means do you have to stop enjoying summer, just do it carefully. But for more information about heat safety, you can visit BeReadyLexington.com or follow us on any social media pages, including Facebook, X, which is Twitter, or Instagram.
We mentioned pets in the previous segment, but here is a more deep dive into keeping them safe in summer heat.
As the temperature continues to rise, many people are doing more and more outside activities.
And like a lot of us, we like to spend our outdoor time with our pet. But we as humans take all kinds of precautions. Hat,
sunglasses, sunscreen, a bottle of water, we sometimes forget about our four-legged friends like Max here, who are wearing a fur coat 24/7. To get some tips on how to help your pet beat the heat, I stopped by the Shaybell Veterinary Hospital for some advice.
The time that we see the most heat strokes is now, and so you would think June, July, August, but when dogs aren't acclimated to the weather and the weather changes, that's when we start seeing heat strokes. So April, May, I typically see more than the hottest months, which is kind of surprising. And so make sure fresh water is available. Don't keep them out, if it's over 70 or 80, limited exposure. If you have a very active dog, kind of limit their activity in the heat of the day. Brachycephalic dogs, so dogs with squish nose, Bostons, pugs, boxers, they don't handle the heat well. And so I wouldn't take them to the dog park or running or any outdoor activity, and from 10 in the morning till 5 at night on hot days, because they just can't tolerate the heat. In the heat of the day, keeping them on the grass is better than the hot concrete. Some dogs shouldn't be walked in the heat of the day just because it burns their pads, and so definitely stay off the black asphalt. Sometimes concrete is not terribly as hot as black because it doesn't attract the heat, but grass is going to be better for sure. The big thing to watch for is excessive panting is kind of a first sign. So if they can't get comfortable and they're trying to lay down and kicking their feet out and panting a whole lot, they're restless because they're getting overheated. A lot of times their gums will be really pink and injected, and more so than normal. Extreme cases, you'll start seeing vomiting, diarrhea. A lot of times they can have blood pass in their stool. End stages or convulsions can even cause death. And so if you start noticing that, you need to cool your dog off pretty fast and get them to the vet.
And if your pet's like Joey here, who likes to take long summer drives with his head out the window, you gotta make a plan to make sure your pet spends no time in an unattended hot car.
The hot weather becomes crucial time for animal welfare. What you want to make sure you always have handy is extra water for your dogs and cats. If you keep your dogs and cats outside, you want to definitely have an area constructed where they have adequate shade. And it's essential in this time of season not to leave your dogs or cats locked in hot vehicles. A lot of people just want to spend as much time with their beloved pets as possible, so they want to take them on errands with them, which we totally understand. But sometimes you do need to leave your pets at home or with trusted friends and family, because they can overheat really quickly in vehicles, and it is something that we do respond to. So we can potentially go out if your dog is in your car unattended. If you absolutely have to take your dog or cat with you in the car, make sure you have visible food and water present for them. It's not uncommon for us to do a temperature reading inside of a car and it to be above 100 degrees. So it can be extremely hot in there. That's why animals can get into stress a lot hotter, and especially a lot of small breeds that have more breathing issues can get hotter and into stress a lot quicker. So it is something we see very common. So it is important to just leave your pets at home if you can, but if not, always have that food and water available. Every call that we respond to is situational. We do respond to every single complaint that we get, anything animal related, but especially when it's animal welfare concerns. And it just depends on a lot of different factors: how much history we have with that particular person, what condition their animal is, how bad distress they're in. If it's something that can be fixed through education, we always want to do that. But if it's something that's beyond the point of education, then we do have every right on a cruelty case to issue a charge and seize the animal if we have to do that. But we prefer to work with the public and educate them to try to make sure that if it's a pet that they love, that they keep it home but in compliance. We rely 100% on the community to call us and tell us whenever they see an animal in distress, in danger, trapped, or possibly being abused. So please call us at 859-255-9033. That's where you'll get to our dispatcher, and we do have an animal control officer working 24/7. You can always visit our website for information, which is www.lfacc.org, or go on our Facebook page, but those are not for emergencies. If you have an emergency with an animal in distress, you should always call us.
There's live coverage on Lex TV and streaming online coming your way this week. And remember, you can also find the most up-to-date information on non-televised city business at lexingtonky.gov. Here's this week's meeting cover. That's all for now, but as always, you can keep up with us on social media. Check out the latest traffic updates on X at LexRex, or catch our live traffic cams on lexingtonky.gov. For all of us at Lex TV, I'm Neil Noah, and that's it for now.